Stand by for action.
What ascends, brethren? So here I am in the sort of aftermath of the lovely Springer unboxing that I did and you all saw, hopefully. And while a lot of this video will probably end up being talking about that at great length, I do have some other stuff to show you. And looking at the screen, I realised one of them, which was sort of going to be subliminal, isn't working. I've got a nice new Thor t-shirt, look at that. I'm being a show off for clothes, that's nice. I don't really often do that. If you want one, they're in Tesco's. It's really nice. It's a nice old cover. Anyway, yes, some other stuff that ain't Springer. But before I start, I would like to just point out that yes, my shelf has changed, and you should be able to make out that that is a lovely sort of big Beast Hunters lineup. I have chucked all of my Beast Hunters figures on one shelf, and my new Generations ones with Orion Pax and Blitzwing, just because there wasn't really enough Beast Hunters stuff to constitute a whole shelf. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't like it as much as the old lineup that used to stand there, but I think it's nice. It's actually very rare that I ever display a whole lot of the latest figures as I get them, because really once I display something I then don't really want to play with it, because picking it up off the shelf will ruin the display. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least I've got some new stuff to play with, which means I don't have to upset that, but I will be upsetting that very soon, because the need will strike me to pick up that Optimus or whatever and muck about with them again. And yeah, that's why I don't display new stuff, because it's not worth displaying, because you just want to handle it too often. So yeah, I don't know, days are probably numbered for how long that shelf will exist, but I thought it was quite nice, and I've put the Cyberverse guys there as well, even though they're out of scale. And then of course condensed all the sort of random lot up the top. You won't be able to see, but there are actually some different ones up there than there were before. Get your magnifying glass out and try and find them. Enough of that! Who cares about what's up there? You can see it, for God's sake. So what is this new stuff, you ask me? Well, I've got some new bot shots. Yes, so first up is Leadfoot, who's like, you know, a rendition of the fat wrecker from Dark of the Moon. He's okay. I guess I don't really like him that much, but he is another one where I walked into my newsagent, saw it and thought, oh, I'll pick him up, because I just went down there with some change from having my hair cut, thought I'd buy some sweets with it, and then I saw the bot shots sort of peg and thought, hang about, those are some different ones to the lineup they had the last time I saw, which was when I got that Spin Shot Ironhide ages ago. Because I just thought, I've got to get one. I mean, while there is a small sort of seam of bot shots in that shop, I thought I might as well mine it while I can, because they won't be there forever, even though it seems like they probably have had a big box of them out the back and they've just been filling up the peg whenever one gets sold. Who knows? But yeah, I might end up with a Power Glide and a couple of other Bumblebees or whatever. It just feels so good to walk down the road and into a shop, hand the man some money and walk home with a nice new robot. Just, you know, the convenience of that. Buying robots at walking distance, there's nothing like it. But yeah, he's a little race car covered in guns. Fun. And then, upon a jaunt into Canterbury, where I picked up a copy of Dark Cybertron #1, which I won't really talk about because it's only the first issue, and it's like, it's not going to be as trouser shattering as anything that might have happened in More Than Meets the Eye or anything like that yet, because, you know, it's only just starting. This is a 12-part thing, so it's got to build up a lot of steam, and it has started nicely. It made me go ooh rather than whoa. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's not quite so surprising in a way. It's just a bit like, oh, okay, let's see where that goes. And that's what I'm sort of feeling for this. I'm sort of thinking, oh, where's it going to go? So yes, there's that. I went into Home Bargains and, you know, they had a whole slew of bot shots there for £2 and I was like, blimey, this is sort of really what I want. But I didn't really have any of the new ones because I was hoping to get the jumpy Shockwave for £2 or whatever. but they're the sort of, I suppose it's the last wave of the normal kind of bot shots, and I went through those, and there were a few I was like, oh, should I get this one, should I get that one, but I decided on Skywarp, just because I don't own any other Skywarps. This is my first ever Skywarp figure, and yeah, he's really nice. I've got to say, in this bot shot form, he does beat Thundercracker, because the silver and the black and the purple, it all looks so good. He's got purple noggin. His face is actually a bit different from Starscream and Thundercracker and any previous Seeker bot shots. He's got purple toes, and you fold him up if he behaves. And you just got this, it's funny. It's, you know, the black and purple with the gold cockpit, ultra sexy jet, but it's all looking really chubby and super deformed and kiddified, and it's fun. And then the final bot shots based purchase was through eBay, because I suddenly decided, let's have a look, just see what there is, and came across a 3-pack that was like only £7, and it was on sale, so I thought, if I want it, I better get it, and I did, and it came quite quickly, and it came today, so I haven't really had very long to experience these figures, but it's the set with a see-through Skyquake, who I didn't really want because he's a bit too similar to the see-through Acid Storm. You know, it's a see-through Green Seeker. Well, this guy, I have to say, I guess he does it better than Acid Storm, because what he's made out of is actually more see-through, because Acid Storm's more sort of misty green that looks, I don't know, like noxious gas. This looks like some sort of, I don't know, tasty apple or lime flavoured sweetie, and the light goes through it really nicely. And his face is painted really sharp, and you know, Skyquake, he's okay. But yes, not what I bought that set for. What I did buy that set for was the Shockwave, who is, yeah, he's pretty insane. He's a bit different to, I think there is a single pack version of this. I've seen there is, I know it must be different somehow. I don't actually know how it is, but I'm assuming it's the fact that he's got sort of brown or gold or bronze, whatever you'd call this colour, bits on him. But yes, he's insane with his jumping ability, and I like the way he sort of turns into the prime Shockwave alt mode while he has a sort of G1E robot mode. Nice little mix, and it's just making me want the sort of Cyberverse Beast Hunter Shockwave a bit more, because I found one of those this week but didn't buy it. And then of course in that set was another Bumblebee, and I didn't really want another Bumblebee, but in Botshot's land I only have one, so I guess, you know, this guy's forgivable, especially when he is another insane jumping U1 with funny arms and a little gun. But there we go, that's everything else, and now we've talked about everything else, we can move on to the pièce de résistance. The crème de la crème, as Rattrap25 said in a comment on the unboxing. I think that's a very apt description. This guy is just the best, up there with just, yeah, true stars of very good figures. I mean, for what we're getting these days for 2013 and all of this, and considering this is just the start of this thrilling 30 generations line, and I mean, I know that we know basically where it's going with Rhinox and Double Dealer and Whirl. You know, if this is just the beginning, then surely they can still pull out something better than this guy, which would mean that we are in for a treat, because I really can't tell how you'd really make this figure any better. That should be a glowing enough recommendation. I mean, if there's any gripes on this, they are truly negligible, because there's absolutely nothing that can stop you from enjoying this. Oh, I don't know where to begin. The sword is cool. The way it's, you know, as rotors, it actually looks like two helicopter rotors, not just two halves of a sword. But then I guess maybe you could argue that the sword looks like two helicopter rotors. It does a really good job being two things. And then the gun, which, yeah, is a bit weird. I don't really like the way it fires the missiles independently, one after the other. I don't understand why they've done that. I know that shotgun barrels fire independently, but this isn't a shotgun, this is a giant space missile launcher. I guess you can see, yeah, his shoulder is a bit loose on this one here, but if you pose it right, it's okay. It's just the weight of the gun, really, I guess, moving it. The detailing is unparalleled. There is just stuff everywhere on every surface. There's some just good roboty detail or helicoptery detail or car-y detail. And while I suppose sometimes you can look at bits and think, is that meant to be a bit of the car or is that meant to be a bit of the helicopter? Yeah, I guess Springer isn't one of those sort of distinct triple changers like Blitzwing, where you can look at his robot mode and instantly see what he turns into, because he hasn't got like wings and a turret sticking off him that tells you he's a tank and a jet. He's just a sort of robot, and he's got some wheels in there and maybe what could be the front of an aerial vehicle or a cockpit or something. But I think that adds to his allure, because it's like, yeah, he's just a really good robot, and then he turns into these two different things, and it's a bit of a surprise with the way he does so and what those sort of things are, I guess. Because the car mode, I love that. I think that's the strongest mode, because it just looks so good. It's so big. I mean, I'm not one for like Voyager class cars, because then, you know, every other car form is a deluxe and it just puts them out of scale and it doesn't look right. But this, it looks so good with the big chunky treaded tyres and just the way it looks so armoured. I mean, I think they've taken a sort of movie wreckers direction with it, but in a good way, because it looks like a car that someone has just stuck on loads of plating and armour and guns to it, and it looks Mad Max and Death Race-ish, just in a perfectly sort of subtle way. And yeah, that floats my boat. Yeah, it's perfect detailing, and you can't see anything of the helicopter. I guess you could say that maybe the front end of the helicopter, because it's all this sort of odd tapered front end that isn't flat. It does make the front end of the car look a bit odd, because it's got this sort of wedge in the middle and then the two headlight bits on either side. But it looks cool, it looks different, and just, yeah, completely fitting the character. But the helicopter mode, while that is good, it's a good helicopter, it does just sort of feel a bit, I don't know, I mean, having the G1 figure and comparing this to that and seeing the logical progressions that this is made from that, the helicopter mode feels a bit too much like they're trying to be like the G1 figure. Because, you know, you can practically see his arms on the sides, and you can see that his legs go together to make the tail, and the G1 figure does those things. And I mean, it's nothing bad, it's nothing to really put anyone off, so it doesn't put me off, but it just could have been a little bit better, because when you've got the sides of the helicopter with the little tiny wings, and you know that they've got windows if you look around the corner in the wrong place, and it's like, could have hidden that a little bit better, or they could have done something a little bit better with the tail so it doesn't look quite so thick and is obviously two legs. I mean, in the comics, with the design this guy's based on, each leg sort of goes independently, so, you know, only one of his legs actually has the fins on for the helicopter mode, because that will go out one way and make the tail, and his other leg will go and make like the underside of it. But I suppose they've taken the more G1-y route of just sticking his legs together for this one. And, you know, I don't mind. While I would have loved a completely slavish Nick Roche last time of the Wreckers Springer, this is so damn close, there's just, you know, you can't make a point for this not being that. It's a beautiful blend of what a classic's updated version of that old toy should be, mixed with what he looked like in the cartoon, mixed with how he looks in the comics now. Yeah, just a flawless, perfect amalgamation of all those things that gives you just this proper good looking bot. I mean, yeah, if they make another Springer toy, how can it really be better than this? And therein lies the true core of the goodness of this, because like Lugnut, it's just sort of something that is like the ultimate version of that character, and that's where it makes it feel like a masterpiece, because you can't get better than this. And then you mix in the click and the light piping, and it's a figure that just makes me as giddy as a schoolboy. So there we go, chums, that's the lot for this week. And certainly a good week it was too. Lovely lot of stuff, oh yes. There probably will be stuff for me to show you next week, and hopefully I will be able to go and net a little shiny Shockwave, and who knows what else. I don't really want to be spending the same levels of money as I did with Springer again so soon, But I'll certainly have something to wave in front of your face and provide a mild review / discussion about. Time to boogie on out of here.